So welcome back to another video on the channel. I hope you are all doing tremendously well. In this video, we have yet again another student interview, and today we are joined with Sebastian, who is able to go from 0 to 10,000 a month with his e-commerce SMMA using the Quantum Leap e-commerce agency program. And actually just recently he's been able to scale even further. This interview, I will say, it was recorded probably about 2 months ago, I would say at this point from memory. Actually now he's been able to scale his agency to 8,000 a week. I'll actually pop a screenshot up on the screen somewhere. He was able to hit 8,000 a week with his agency. However, when we recorded this interview, he was at 10,000 a month, but obviously he scaled further beyond that now. Either way, Sebastian is absolutely killing it. And in this video, we go through exactly this, the roadmap that he really followed to scale his agency. And also we actually strip back his client acquisition system that works tremendously well for him. And it's actually very, very different to what everybody else uses. So this is truly going to be a tremendously powerful and useful interview for you to go through and actually extract actionable insights and implement them directly into your own agency so you can see the same level of results. Now, I do want to mention as well, July 14th, the Quantum Leap e-commerce agency program is increasing. It is going up to $997. So currently it is 50% off to join the Quantum Leap e-commerce agency program, which is the program that all of these student interviews that you're seeing on the channel, I've got a bunch more on the channel. I actually get my editor to pop them up all over the screen here. We've got a bunch more on the channel, and each and every one of those students came through the Quantum Leap e-commerce agency program. This is how they all got their start. This is how they went from absolute zero, have no idea about the agency business model, have no idea how to get clients, how to deliver results, how to build a team, no idea, to being able to build, as you'll see literally in the next 30 seconds here with Sebastian, for example, going up to 10,000 a month with his agency, and now he's scaled past that to 8,000 a week. It all stemmed from the Quantum Leap e-commerce agency program, and that is the sole reason that we're increasing the price, simply because of the results. That's all it's based on, right? The results are absolutely insane, and so it just doesn't make sense for me to continue charging what I'm currently charging for the program, because the results are just ridiculous. And so, as I say, currently the Quantum Leap e-commerce agency program is 50% off. This is no sales tactics. July 14th, it's increasing. So as I say, there's no sales tactics here. It's just what I'm doing. And I just wanted to let you know that you should most definitely get in. If you've ever been interested in joining the Quantum Leap e-commerce agency program, right now is the absolute best time. So what I'll do is I'll go ahead, drop a link in the description for you to enroll automatically. Or if you want to actually speak to somebody on the other side, you can actually book in a call as well down below with our student success manager, Daniel, who also started in the Quantum Leap e-commerce agency program. He was actually a student first. He went from 0 to $20,000 per month with his agency. That's just another case study that's come from the Quantum Leap program. He used Quantum Leap to go from 0 to 20,000 per month, and now he has come on as a student success manager for Quantum Leap. So he actually helps each individual customer inside the program scale their own agency to 10, 20,000 per month. And also students of the program are able to book in a one-to-one private call with Daniel himself to go through really anything and everything you want. It's like a private mentorship session, right? That's just an added bonus of the Quantum Leap e-commerce agency program. So with that being said, as I say, if you're interested in getting into Quantum Leap, 50% off before the price increases on July 14th, go ahead and enroll by clicking the links in the description. And with that being said, I hope you find value in this student interview. As always, if you do, smash the like button, subscribe to the channel, and I will see you on the other side. So welcome back to another video on the channel. Today we have yet again another student interview, and today we are joined with Sebastian. He has pretty much gone from 0 to 15,000 a month. He just mentioned to me there he's going to make this month. Last month was around 10,000 with his agency, and literally, I mean, as we were just saying there, right? Like started from complete zero, it was around a year ago, right? Kind of had no idea about the agency structure, about the agency model. And obviously that's when we started to go back and forth, wasn't it? I just remember it like it was yesterday. You was messaging me about clients and how to scale an agency and how to do the service delivery side and whatnot. I mean, dude, it's crazy to see how far you've come inside of a year.
Yeah, 100%. I'm glad I'm on today. It's been a crazy journey so far, and I'm very thankful and appreciative that I've picked that route with your course, and I think it was definitely the right decision.
Yeah, for sure. So a year ago, when, as I say, we was going back and forth on Instagram, was that when you joined the program?
Yeah, that was the time when I joined the program.
Okay, got it. And how did your kind of growth look? Because I think I remember as well, I mean, you was joining the weekly calls, right? And I remember there was some struggles that you was facing and stuff like that as well for quite a period of time. So walk us through like that point in which you kind of started to think, okay, let's try and grow an agency. Let's try and actually take this seriously, start reaching out to clients and whatnot. From that point, how how was that process to get your first client?
Okay, yeah, 100%. So first off, I didn't start, with your course. Like I had another course. I paid for that 2.5K, and that delivered me, to be honest,
Oh,
not
wow.
value. I got close from your course. Like your course was 100% on point for those $500, and it was amazing. And I just started and I was still in my job back then. And then I decided to quit it in June 1 year ago. And it was like, a very big decision because I had no clients at the point, I had no income. I was just living off my savings. Over here in Austria, we also pay insurance and, just the things, that comes with being an entrepreneur.
Yeah.
So it was like, I had around 5 to 8K on the side. And I was like, yo, I just, go full in. In the beginning, it was like really hard. I started out in the German market and I thought, that's the perfect market. But
Yeah.
then like after reaching out to clients and everything like that, I just thought, it's not working, and then I had like after 3 months or something or 4 months, then in November, I just said, like German market is not working for me. I just tried in the global market, so I started really, getting better in speaking English, using your techniques, and then was just like a long journey. Like, like
Yeah.
my clients started really going in like this year, this is really the year, where I have a breakthrough, and I'm very grateful for that. But, it was a long journey since then. It was just like doing the right things long enough consistently, like putting in the work, perseverance. And yeah.
So what do you think aided the breakthrough that you said you experienced this year? Like, do you think it was just an accumulation of everything you did in 2020 and then all of a sudden everything just aligned and it just kind of happened? Like, yeah, what do you think kind of spawned that breakthrough?
To be honest, yeah, I think I planted so many seeds this time, like hitting up, so many clients, having so many touch points, and then, like few clients, just message me, hey, can you take over that store? It was just like few clients like just came out of nowhere, they were hitting me up, because I was riding with them like 3 months ago, 4 months ago. And I think I laid out kind of like the foundation back then, also, with my Facebook profile, with posts, with value posts. I think that was the foundation, and now it's just things aligned at the right time, and I was just like still putting in the work and the effort, and like then it just came to me.
Yeah, for sure. So what's your main client acquisition method at the moment?
To be honest, right now I'm getting my most clients through Facebook. I'm not actively posting right now. Rather than, like inbound, outbound people hitting me up, I, like go to post, look who is commenting, who is liking them, and then just like starting a general conversation. But right now, I'm really focused, like on scaling those clients I have right now. And once, I really got the locked in, then I will jump in back to
Yeah.
client acquisition.
For sure. That's interesting, actually. You're one of the only people that we've had on, at least so far, that main client acquisition is through Facebook. Obviously, most people is through outbound prospecting, right?
Yeah.
So how do you, what are a few things that you're doing over on the Facebook side that are really kind of hitting? I mean, if you're still signing clients from
Yeah.
posts that you've not even, you're not even making posts, right? So this is obviously, I take it, prospects who have been nurtured by like all of your other posts that you used to post or whatever it may be. What are a few things that you're doing over there that's enabling you to crush it with just Facebook?
Yeah. I think it's very, very important to have the foundation in place, like as you teach it in your program, like to really have a profile when people click on your post. I mean, obviously, when you make a good post, people will click on your profile, and then it will scroll through, read your posts, look at your pictures, and that has all to be in place. Like you have to look like a legitimate business person, also have linked your
Yeah.
website into your profile, also have good business posts, about how to scale client case studies, all that they really know, okay, you're the guy. And then in a group, it's really about standing out and giving free value. Like I see so many people posting in there, but it's like I remember back one day I just used to like I just copied a picture from John Cena in there, like, and he was holding the belt up, and I just copied the ROAS at the revenue and the belt, and like it was like funny. People, it catch their attention. It was just standing out of, just a normal case study, where you just,
Yeah.
make 100K with that case study. I think it's really standing out the crowd and being creative in that way, because everyone is posting that. and then really providing good free value. Like normal agencies, would charge you for that. And then what I found out, not only, like you're getting up, like people hitting up, it's like normally you're getting hit up by people, they want to know how you do that and everything like that, but also comment, like also hitting those people up who are liking, and then like starting a genuine conversation with them. Hey, are you also into Facebook ads? And that helped me because everyone, who is showing interest could be a potential client. And that chance, that worked out every time I hit them up.
For sure. That's something that yeah, I've not heard about, actually reaching out to people who like the post. But I mean, it makes sense, right? It's the same with email or whatever. If somebody replies, they're obviously interested. If somebody comments, they're obviously interested, taking time out of the day to comment or like it or whatever, they found value. Especially, I suppose, if they like it or love it. Obviously on Facebook you can do both, like react to it, so you know that they found value in it and they know that they really liked it and enjoyed it, so they're a much warmer prospect. And so is that kind of, then you just reach out to them, kind of start a general conversation, see where they're at, and try and move them to a book call and hop on the call and sell them into a client?
To be honest, over Facebook, I found out that booked calls not work that well. Like my 2 clients I like signed over Facebook, like I signed through the messenger. That's the really funny part.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Wow.
So I think, it's every time better to push on a call, like because on the call you can, like just explain everything better, like it's more personal, you're on a video call, you can involve tonality, and over the messenger, it's very limited on that what you write, so I feel like it's more, like it's better when you hop with them on a call, but sometimes, it even goes in the chat, and you can kind of like fill it out, what this person is kind of like a person, if you want to hop on a call or not. But generally speaking, I try to push on a call, but if not, I don't care. Client is client.
Yeah, for sure. So go through a bit of, obviously before we started here, you went through kind of your new offer and how that's been really crushing it for you. Go through that and how, well, first of all, yeah, go through the offer side of things. First things first, because I know, as you say, it was doing really well for you, right?
Yeah, 100%. One thing that I found out in my journey is that it's very hard, and it makes sense, it's very hard for e-commerce business owner, when you're reaching out to them, with a call on them, that they just pay you upfront, let's say a flat fee of 2,000, 5,000, something, like something around these numbers. And it's like still a risk for them. And now, with the rise of e-commerce agencies, there are a lot of agencies out there. And like, I hear it every time, when back then, I was reaching out to people on email, they're saying like, yo, I get like 10 emails per day from that, so it's very kind of hard to charge them up front, because they know, hey, I can everywhere get, this person, who can do that. So you kind of like have to prove yourself. And what I found out, and I got it right now with literally all of my clients, performance-based only, like you're taking a risk. Yeah. And you could maybe lose it, like if you're, things messing up, if the ROAS is not right. However, like when you are only performance-based, they sign on like almost every time, because there is no risk for them besides the ad spend. And obviously, when you're an agency, you have to be better, what they ads are currently doing, and that's the thing, because you're just lowering, the risk for them. And that will work out for me every time. So far, we got also very good results. And then you're also on a performance-based deal. And that's even better than a flat fee, because of a performance-based deal, when you ramp up with that ad spend, then it could be very, very profitable for you.
For sure. Yeah. So you're at currently 15,000 a month purely on performance-based deals.
Yeah, it's like next month it will be only around 8 to 10K from one client, because we got 100K ad spend there. We also like made a contract recently for our, like next month, I think we signed him for 6 to 12 months, something like that. So pretty amazing. And we're we're planning to scale them up to even multiple 6 figures in ad spend. And then the other clients, we're still at the first month, like we have, I guess we are at 10K per month ad spend, what's kind of like the minimum, because you want to ensure that you can pay your media buyers, because then you have to pay out them of your own pocket, if this is not working well with the ROAS. But I just thought the risk is 100% worth, what could I lose? I could lose potentially 2K or something like that, but what could I win? Like even up to, 5, 10, 15K, just only for one client, because we have a very, very good deal here in place. And I think the risk is 100% worth. You just have to think about it before you jump in. Can you handle it? If it goes in the worst case scenario, emotionally and financially, especially financially. And then I'd say it's one of the best offers you could make.
Yeah, for sure. I love that. So you are able to bill a couple clients, like you're saying, that 8 to 10,000 a month from one client. I mean, to some people watching this video right now, they'll be like gobsmacked at those numbers, right? It's ridiculous because, there's a lot of limiting beliefs that like I can't scale a charge past like 2,000, 1,500, 2,500, you're coming in here and billing clients, 8 to 10,000 a month. What do you look for in clients to be able to ensure that they're actually going to be able to get good results? For example, that client who you're billing 8 to 10,000 a month for, as you say, you're spending 100,000 a month. And obviously the return is more than there because it's, a percentage of ROAS, it's return on ad spend. So you have to generate results. So what do you look for in clients when you bring them on a performance only deal to ensure that you can actually get them good results?
I think one part is, like you have to look in the ads manager, because when they're having a very, very bad ROAS, the last client we brought on that had a 0.8 ROAS, but I just generally thought that we can bump it up. But I feel like you can watch in the ads manager, if this is a client you could potentially scale or not. And then also, when you look on their profile, on their brand as a general, is this a client, you could scale? It's kind of like hard to say, but you know what I mean? Like from a certain standpoint, if this client has potential or not to scale based on the products they're offering and based on the way they're presenting it themselves. Like people have, companies have certain foundations, they have a good Instagram, they have cool people who are promoting it, they have a cool product who really solves a problem. And when I think this would work, when I think from a rational, also from an emotional standpoint, that will work, then I jump in. And it's just like, you have to make sure this is a product and the brand you will also buy from, because like, if this is a crappy client, if this is a crappy product, a crappy brand you wouldn't trust, you wouldn't buy yourself, why, then you're expecting that other people buy that, So I feel like it's really making sure that this is a legitimate brand, what you could scale.
Yeah, for sure. So this 8 to 10 or the clients where you're spending like, upwards of 50,000 a month, were these a couple of the first clients that you brought on board?
I brought on board like one other client in the beginning that was like my first client. It was an info product client, and there we had 3K ad spend, and our retainer was like 1,500. And I canceled that after 3 months because he was so micromanaging. And not really.
Usually are on the lower budgets.
Yeah.
Usually are on the lower retainers.
And it's literally like that, like low budget, they care so much about the ad spend. They care so much about every little thing. And at the higher budget, it's like, spend whatever you want. Like, they literally said it, as, provided you got a 3x ROAS, we could also spend $1 million, they said.
Yeah.
And it's like,
it's the same every single time.
Yeah. And that's a beautiful part of it. But that was my, literally my first, and then the other one, was in the beginning. And that was the right now where I'm, like at 8 to 10K per month retainer from that one. And that, we started out and they was like not able to scale because, I feel like that's a very cool part. And that's what I really branded myself on and specialized on, to scale e-commerce brands, who are like, spending 5, 10K per month, something like that. And then, like mostly at this point, brands, start to break off, like the ROAS breaks down, they're not able to, like generate those results anymore. And this is the point where I specialize myself on and really scale it, because it's at the one point, a very profitable part, and also a part which not much agencies can do. And I figured out that with my media buyer, that could be the perfect gap where I jump in. So, like that's really what we focused on them. They started out with, I think, 15K ad spend, couldn't scale, couldn't get the 3x ROAS, and we were able. So the first month we made okay. 8% of the ROAS, and we spent 50K. You know, we made that on a contract. 50K, we made them out of the 50K, I think 155, you know, get compensated on that. And then they
Nice.
said, hey, that was a very, very strong statement that you guys can do that. Let's set up the contract, and here we at.
Nice, dude. Nice. So that's a very interesting that's a very, very interesting takeaway from your end. Like you figured out a USP for your own Insta, you figured out an ideal client. Brands
Yeah.
are at 5 to 10,000 a month. And you figured that they all have this burning issue. You know, this is a concept that we go through in Centaurian, as hopefully you'll soon see. You know, it's really all about figuring out exactly who your ideal client is and figuring out what their issues are. And then it's very easy at that point to put a message in front of that specific prospect and get them to convert, because you know what they want, you know what they're struggling with, you know. And I suppose that's what you're doing now with your, you know, that ties in with the reasoning as to why you're crushing it with Facebook. I'm sure you're putting those messages in front of those prospects on Facebook, and that's why you're crushing it with it, you know what I mean? Because you figured from you figured the specific person who can benefit most from your service, what their biggest pain points are, what they want to achieve. You just craft a message in that way and put it in front of them, and you know they convert. So I'm curious on that. How did you come up with that idea? Not idea that, you know, how did you find out that brands at 5 to 10,000 a month in ad spend were struggling with scaling, and they, you know, every time they tried to scale, things broke? Like, how did you find that out? Like, how did you go about your market research?
Yeah. It was like I saw it in groups that, you know, people were asking. I saw it that strong
Right.
agencies always, you know, like had high ad spends, you know, high results. Like I also saw it in your profile. And I just figured out every time I was in the call with people, you know, with low ad spend or something like that. And I just found out every time I was in the call, people said, yeah, then we started to spend more money and then we couldn't scale. And I just thought that was a reoccurring
Right.
pattern, you know, with all the brands it was on. And then I really figured out, hey, just let's, you know, use this gap, brand myself on that, and then fill it. And it really worked well for me. And I think that's a very, very good thing. Like, as I said, it, you know, you go in your program also through that. It's really, you know, being specific, focused on one part, you know, what you're doing, and be really good at, and also branding on a part. Like ecom agency is ecom agency. But if you're specialized in scaling, then people will, you know, perceive you differently. If you are, you know, like specialized on, I bring little brands, you know, to 5 6 figures, you know, it's like
Mm.
really a matter how you brand and how specific you are.
Yeah, that's amazing. 100%. I couldn't agree more with that for
Yeah.
sure. Um, I was going to say about the on the back end of it. So this has kind of been, you know, about client acquisition and figuring out who your client is, putting a message in front of them and getting them to convert. And you mentioned there that, you know, you figured that 5 to 10,000 a month brands, or 5 to 10,000 a month spend is like it's like a glass ceiling for a lot of brands. So you figured that there was a need for that in the market. How did you then go about actually fulfilling on that need? So how did you then go about having a service that was actually able to take brands from 5 to 10,000 a month, scale that budget up, and actually help them with their issue of maintaining high margins? How did you go about doing that, especially in the earlier stages when you didn't really have any, you know, case studies? You probably yourself personally didn't have any experience spending more than 5 to 10,000 a month and getting, you know, maintaining high margins and whatnot. How did you combat that?
That's a good question. And first, I just want to adjust that number. I feel like it's from the range 5K to even up to 15 to 20 to 30. Like 30 is last one we know, but
Yeah.
then they all break off. Like some can scale
Yeah.
it.
It's almost just 5K plus, right?
Yeah, 100%. You know, because
Yeah.
everything below is like, you know, like it's not that hard to scale it. It's like face to
Yeah.
face.
It's so easy.
Everything
Yeah.
above, like everything above is like really, really hard things to do. But to
Yeah.
answer your question, in the beginning, I was, you know, searching for a media buyer who would fulfill my needs, you know, who would have very good case studies, you know, with high spends. And he literally have, like, I found this person I'm very thankful and grateful for. Um, and then I started to make this Facebook post of his case studies. Some say, that's a bit controversial. However, he's fulfilling the clients then. So basically, I can leverage his case studies. And that was a very strong point, because like if I would just enter the market and say, yo, I'm so cool, I'm so perfect, like please sign on with me, I have nothing to leverage. I have no proof. So I have to prove myself that people see, hey, this dude is killing it, let's sign on with him. And that's what I basically did with his case studies. I just leveraged them in groups, wrote a very good article to it, provided value. And then I could really scale with him, because like he's really ambitious. He, like had case studies, with 250K spent per month made out of it, 900K or something like that. And this is a strong proof.
Wow.
Like this says something. And when people see that and they're in that position, like although there are good people in Facebook groups, like also having similar results, but it's not that average that you see those high results. And that's what really also stands out of the crowd, like really the results you're generating, that it's not like, okay, I'm made out of 10K, 40K, that's like normal for Facebook ads. But really in those high numbers is really where you take off and really stay out of the crowd.
Yeah, I think the creativity aspect of it as well is super important, that you mentioned earlier, just doing different style of posts and stuff. It's the same with ads. Like we've just launched new agency ads. I don't know if you've seen any of them, but they're just so like ridiculous. You know what I mean? It's just so different to every other agency ad that's running right now. Every other agency ad that's running right now is just a client testimonial with like a header saying this much spent, this much made. It's just, you just blend in. Whereas our ads now are, they're crushing it. They're getting like, I think I checked this morning, it's like $80 per book call, top of funnel. And it's just because they're so different. You know what I mean? Like they're just so like left field almost, so I entirely agree with that. And I suppose, doing what you're doing organically on Facebook, it's the same idea as Facebook ads,
Yeah, 100% for sure. 100%.
What are you, so like, what does the structure look like at the moment with the agency that's pulling in 15,000 a month? You got one media buyer, is that right? Is it still the same media buyer that you originally signed on with, or is it a different one? Or
actually 3, because I got clients in Germany, in Austria.
Okay, interesting.
Yeah, like I'm really mixed. Like just for a standpoint right now, I have that one client, that puts in 8 to 10K per month as a retainer, that from Singapore. Then I got another one. We signed on for TikTok ads and Facebook ads. That this one is from Pakistan, but still a big client. And the other one, where we get 8 to 10K per month as a retainer. They said, hey, we got 2 other brands. Can you take them over? Because we already saw that you're generating results. So that will also be 2 stores we're bringing on like 2 weeks from now or 3 weeks from now. Let's have a look. And so I have one media buyer for the German market, because I'm from Singapore, we're mainly targeting German market. They're also speaking German. And the German market is very, very different. And that's what I want to understand, that people, who are from Germany, Austria, Switzerland, that when you starting out in that area, or maybe, like people from other countries, like the mentality of Germany is very different in comparison to UK, US. And therefore I really had to hire a person from Germany, who is taking over my ads, because it's literally a complete other world. And now we're really getting good results with him in the German market. So I got that media buyer. I get another media buyer for from the UK. That is from our global clients. When someone taking over from UK, US, or this guy from Pakistan. And then I got another guy who is also from Germany, but mainly global. I'm working, for TikTok ads, and he's taking over my TikTok ads for this client as well. And maybe this is something, we are even promoting more. And I think TikTok is a very, very strong platform, especially for the future. So yeah, 3 media buyers from now.
Wow, it's an interesting structure for sure. I mean, I get what you mean though with the German market. I've heard that a lot, like Germany in particular, obviously different cultures act differently. There's different social norms and cultural norms, but I've heard Germany in particular extremely not like, they just have their own, they just have their own culture, and they're very kind of strict on that culture and how they operate. I've heard, like, for example, they don't like to give up a lot of information. You know, and like, for example, if you get a book call from a German client, it's a little bit like they're a little bit, don't feel comfortable saying their MRR or whatever it may be.
Yeah, 100%. Like in the beginning, you know, I
Yeah.
remember back, I was using your Calendly structure, you know, like when you booking a call, you know,
Yeah.
asking for the revenue, their ad spend, you know, something like that. And I get offended for that I was asking about the revenue. Like people were yelling at me, you know. I mean, they obviously
Yeah.
in the email, but it just felt their energy there. But it was like, and also
Yeah.
from a targeting perspective, like when you're from US, like you have to have knowledge how to target, or you know, somewhere else how to target the German market. It's really different. It's really different.
Yeah. 100%. I agree. I've heard that a lot. I've actually got no German clients, but I've, yeah, definitely heard that. So overall, dude, I mean, looking back, you know, it's for you, it's pretty much been a year. You know, you're coming up to the year
Yeah.
mark now with your agency, and you're now transitioning into year two at 15,000 a month. You crushed it inside of the first year, but you know, looking back on the start of your journey, as I said to you prior to the interview, there'll be a lot of people watching this video right now. There'll be a lot of, you know, past 10,000 a month, kind of like on the same level as you. Some might be, you know, 20, 30, but a lot of people, I'd probably say like 50, 60% will be at zero, you know, beginning, kind of struggling, trying to do, you know, all this stuff that everybody's throwing at them. There's a lot of information out there. But if there's like 1 to 3 things that you would really, you know, looking back on your own journey, if you was to tell yourself something, you know, when you were starting out, what's like 1 to 3 things that you would tell yourself to really triple down on, you know, and try and just remove all the extra information that's out there? And what's like the, as I say, 1 to 3 things that you would just really triple down on that's really kind of contributed to your success up until this point?
Okay, yeah, 100%. I feel like the most important thing is like literally perseverance. And like, you know, it's so fancy when
Yeah.
people say, you know, never give up, don't give up. But to be honest, completely real shit. Like I started my journey,
Yeah.
you know, like not my agency's journey, but my business journey 3 years ago. And, you know, like in the first 2 years, I was like 7.5K in debt. I invested that in 3 different companies. I was trying to build businesses, to find businesses, you know, work I like to do. And then I was standing there with say 7.5K already spent, saw a $0, and then still investing in your course, you know, and still having that belief. And it was just like I was
Yeah.
so committed to make this work. And like people, like some people, you know, who would have been in my shoes, you know, back then, like having no job, having no income, like having bills to pay, like having no money like coming in, and like still persevering over 1.5 year, you know, till you like really, or it's 1 year from now, to be honest. Like really, you know,
Yeah.
since I was, you know, like breaking out from my job, since I was like saying, yo, I'm away, like it was really hard journey, because you know you have pressure from all sides. But when you have your
Yeah.
vision so strongly in your mind, and you're so committed to what you do, you will never stop. Whatever, you know, whatever thing is coming your way, you're just tackling it, you know, and getting stronger, and persevering and reverse engineering. And I think that's the number one thing. Like we see all on social media, you know, like people having success, people having fancy cars, watches, you know, success overall, and everyone wants to have it, you know, but nobody understands, you know, like how hard it is to get there and what time it takes to be there. I mean, obviously, you know, some people come in your course and like you know, already hitting 5 figures, you know, in the first month or second month, but that's
Yeah.
a rare percentage. That's like literally below 1%. The majority will have to dig deep, to persevere. And that's what I want people to know. Like success is not coming in the first month, first day, or even first year. It takes time to build a serious business. And people get so caught up with wanting it fast, but persevere, do the right things long enough consistently, find out what works, find out what doesn't works, and have much fun while you're working. Because back then, I mean, people called me crazy. Yo, you're working, but you're not getting paid. Like it wasn't working for me. It was doing what I love, and I knew the outcome. You know, I knew the outcome when
Yeah.
I do it the right time. You know, when I do it long enough consistently. And I feel like that is the
Yeah.
most important number one thing, to really persevere, to really stay at your course. The other thing is definitely standing out of the crowd, like especially with e-com agency, with Sunrise, through so many YouTube people, who are promoting it. Therefore, a lot of people, buying these courses and jumping in. There are so many people who are doing that, who are sending emails out, who are saying, hey, we generated those results. Do you want to hop on a call? Who are, making case studies, who have a website. Hey, we do Facebook ads, Instagram ads. It's so odd today. So I feel like it's so important to really stand off the crowd and really like looking different. Like, as I said, your ads getting so great results because they're looking so different from all others. My Facebook ads post get good results because they look so different than all others. And I feel like that's the point where people have to engage. You have to be creative. You have to sit down and write down, ideas to figure out what's, what could potentially work. Then try it. If not, okay, then you find out a thing that doesn't work. Like Edison said, Edison failed 10,000 times, like building the incandescent light bulb, but he didn't fail. He said he found 10,000 ways it wouldn't work. And that's the way how you have to look at the agency. Like you find 10,000 ways it doesn't work, but then you find one way that works and you scale that and you have infinitive results. Like I sent it out, like I feel like, to be honest, 2,000 emails, and it was like I put money in for lead sources, for personalization, and I sent out and I booked one call out of those 2,000. I was trying so many things. I was like, this doesn't work. Like this not work, but I figured out email was for me not the right approach. So figured the way out. So started with other things. Facebook post didn't work for me in the beginning either. I figured out ways it doesn't work. And then I figured out one way it worked out, and that is really standing out the crowd and being creative in that way. And I scale it, and obviously it worked out for me. So it's really like standing out of the crowd. And the last point I'd say is, focus on techniques, focus on building out systems. But I feel like it's also so important to like really having those little things like mindset, being productive, like all the things combined with your system. Because I remember back, like I'm 100% sure that people are hearing that call and feel like they're doing everything for success. But are you really doing everything? Like when you watch now on your screen time on your phone, like how much you on Instagram, how much you on Facebook, how much time you're wasting. Like 2 months ago, I stopped being on Instagram. I deleted Instagram for 1.5 months or 2 months and was like really only focused because I saw I was putting like a half an hour a day on Facebook. And that, times up in the week, it's like 7 hours, and 7 hours where it could be more productive. So it's really like doing everything what it takes to come there and using every single free minute you have, to reach your goals. Because, like I obviously, I moved, into a new room and everything like that. So I had also to pull up money, with my agency. Like I couldn't, like I had no other choice. I was really with the back on the wall, and I knew I have to grind like crazy for that. And when you do not have a safety net, like you're giving everything. And it was like literally, like 4 or 5 hours, nights, like working into the night, like really giving up things, I liked back then, like sometimes watching TVs, like hanging out with certain friends that didn't, push me to that way. And it's really like what you're willing to give up in order to reach that goal, and also what you're willing to learn, in terms of what people, like telling you in those videos on your YouTube channel, in your program. And when you combine that, I feel like it's an exponential effect, and it really will catapult you to major success. Like give up for things, give up, like do now things where people say, I don't want to live that way in order to live the rest of your life like people can't live. It's literally putting it's literally putting the time and the work in, and then later getting rewarded the whole life, and you have to be willing to give up things. It's like sacrificing for your goal, sacrificing for success. And that's really what I want people to know and understand.
Amazing, dude. Honestly, amazing. I think, perseverance, sacrifice, it's obviously all things that don't really get talked about too much, but it has to be there. It just has to be in conjunction with, obviously, you can make sacrifices, you can have perseverance on the wrong shit, or you can have sacrifice, you can sacrifice everything and persevere on the right things. I think that in conjunction, it's literally a matter of time. It's just a matter of time. Sacrifice, perseverance on the right things, consistency over a long period of time on the things that will actually move the needle forward for you. If you're an agency owner, it's going to be obviously filling the calendar, selling meetings, and delivering on a high level for the service. And that ties into obviously team building. Sacrifice everything else that's not those three things, persevere on those three things, and it's like it's just a matter of time at that point. But dude, yeah, overall amazing insight. And I've said it before, I'll say it again, I absolutely love your energy, dude.
I appreciate it. It's really much appreciated. And as you said it, you know, it's like the foundation you have to have as a business owner. Like everyone wants, like people were hitting me up in the group, yo, what's your email script? Do you get the client through email? How do you sign? Like everyone wants the new scripts, the new ways, but nobody is really like doing the other things, like sacrificing, really looking, you know, like having the foundations in place. And you can only build as high up as your foundation is deep, you know? And people are like sometimes really forgetting about like you can't focus 100% on mindset, on, you know, like everything, that kind of stuff. You have to find, you know, like a middle way, you know, a balance in that 2 points. And I feel like it's really a balance in that 2 points what makes success. And that has to be a foundation in order to be successful. And as you said, it's just a matter of time. And that's what I also said, like doing the right things long enough consistently. And after 3 years, it finally worked out for me. It was an amazing journey. I wouldn't have done it other way. I learned so much. And people like feel like, you know, oh, failures, it's hard. Like, yeah, it is hard, but you learn every time. Every failure I learned so much out of it. And like, you know, that's so normal quote, like, you know, you have to learn out of your failures, you know, never give up. But it's so true. It's so true. And people just, you know, never realize it. And that's the reason, you know, why they're not achieving success, because they're looking for the scripts, looking for the email, but they also have to put emphasis on this area.
Yeah, amazing, dude. I love it. I think it's something that it doesn't get talked about too often, but it's got to be in conjunction, like you say. There's got to be a balance, and I love that saying as well. You can only scale as high as your foundations are deep. It's very, very true. Very, very apt for sure. But dude, overall, I really, really appreciate your time joining and sharing your wisdom and your insights and whatnot. I think a lot of people could pull a lot of value from this.
I really appreciate it too, that I had the opportunity to be here in this call. I mean, it was really a pleasure, and I hope I could, you know, give some people who are just starting out some insights, help them to achieve their goal. And that's really my goal too, to help y'all achieve your goals.
100%, dude. Well, everybody who's watching, as always, both from myself and Sebastian, we both hope you was able to pull some, as we said, some value, some insights, some actionable insights. Don't just listen to this video and just, you know, watch it and then move on and go and watch another video. Like, watch it, take notes, and actually take action on it. That's the only way you're going to be able to, you know, scale up and actually move forward. So with that being said, as always, I hope you found value, and I will see you in the next video.